Okay, here we are with part 2 of Vlad the Impaler. Now, you may think Vlad III was a complete tosser and a complete horribly misguided man, pretty horrible, but you'd be surprised actually. There were some things that you think it could be positive about what he was doing. I mean, to be fair, after I read what happened, I was thinking, why don't we do it ourselves? Why doesn't England do it? It'll be good. Anyway. Now, Vlad III was a deeply devout member of the Orthodox Church, which was, it's like Catholicism in Ireland at the time. It was everywhere. Or pretty much Catholicism everywhere in the medieval time. It was pretty much everywhere around this point. and he gave his victims a Christian burial. So he wasn't just, once they died, he just buried them. He didn't just leave them up there. He did take them down, Christian burial, all this ash-to-ash crap. And there's another rumour that he actually, it's nothing to do with this, but he actually, apparently, he collected their blood in bowls. This is how the idea of, this is what Bram Stoker got from him. And he got bread, dipped it in there, and he just slurped it down, and it's not very nice. But I wouldn't want to do that. Wouldn't taste very nice anyway. And he kept loads of Orthodox and Catholic monks in his court, so you know he wasn't a Satanist as Dracula is, you know, as horrible as they say. You know, Dracula's all supposed to be a virgin to the cross and all this shit. He wasn't, because who isn't? Of course, Transylvania at that time there was vampire shit and all that kind of stuff. There's only one incident where he did impale a monk. That's because he was giving him a lecture about his morality, and he, as most absolute rulers want, they don't want to be told what to do, so he just killed him because he was being a big-headed bastard, which some of these people are. Have I missed something out? Oh yes, I have. I missed something out with one. Now, in Wallachia, in Vlad III's rule, there was a rare or completely no crime. Now you're thinking, oh, what's this then? Well, you're thinking, well, you know, because there's a thing that there's a cup that was made of gold that was kept in the square at the Tioga Viste, which is the capital. I think it's the capital at the time, which is for the thirsty people to drink out of. I don't know if it was blood or water. I'm assuming it was water because, you know, I don't think he's that mad. And during his reign, it was never stolen. When he was on the throne, no one had stolen it. So that makes you think. So if we started bringing back corporal punishment, killing people, the criminals, I mean, not everyone, but start killing criminals, would crime decrease? I think it would, personally. Because nowadays in prisons, we're all going, oh, you can have this PlayStation 3 and this plasma TV and £95 a week just because you murdered a baby. Oh, it's all bullshit if you ask me. You should kill them off, string them up, kill them. Not technically impale them, but kill them anyway. Murder them the way they murder their victims, that's what I think. Anyway, little political rant for you. So if you're watching Gordon Brown, fucking take that into consideration, you Scottish bastard. Nothing against the Scots, but he is a brat. He's just as bad as Tony Blair, if not worse. Anyway, Radu at this time was still in Istanbul, so obviously he was getting loads of influence from the Sultan once again. He was practically like a son to him now I think, really, but I think, I don't know, there's a different, at this time the Sultan had just died and he got replaced by Mohammed the second. Of course, Radu was like, oh, what the fucking thing, my brother's a complete knowledge, he's always a total penis. And of course, Vlad, he was in allegiance with the Turks, but he was slowly, he was slowly shifting his allegiance to the Hungarians, and obviously the Turks were like, no. And of course they invaded in 1462. And if anyone has learned about Peter the Great, what he did with the Swiss when they tried to invade Russia, they used the scorched earth policy, which is pretty much self-explanatory. He basically burns everything. On his way back from like a certain route that they're going to take, he burned all the crops, all the huts, he burnt everything, killed people if necessary. So I suppose he was being a bit. It was a policy that works, but it's a bit it's something that you'd only use if you had a last resort, I think, really. Because think about it, wouldn't you need that land after you've killed them all? After you've beaten the Swiss or the Turks, wouldn't you need the land? You can't actually fucking burn it all. So it's not very good, is it? Of course, because the army didn't have logistics like we did today. They can't just order their food off other countries. They have to make it their own, grow their own. Like, you know, like I do with my grandpa. My grandpa grows his own vegetables and I eat it. Which is really quite nice, actually. So it's good, actually, to grow your own vegetables because they taste quite nice. They're better than frozen shit, anyway. And of course, before then, Vlad was asking for help from Hungary and all its little empires and all its little friends. But all he got back was empty promises, so, you know. Well, the fact that at this time they pretty much didn't want to do any more crusading, you know. They weren't going, for Catholicism or whatever. For God, we must kill Turks. We weren't doing that anymore. They were like, yeah, Turks, and then let them do it. They didn't kill us anyway. Just didn't care. Of course, on June the 17th of this year, Vlad had a swift, vicious assault on the Sultan's camp, which was pretty much like a massacre, really. He did fail to kill the Sultan, but there was the Turks did lose a significant number of men, but also he did as well, so it was a bit of a two-way thing. Now, back at home, the Romanian boyars, which are the Romanian ones he didn't kill, they betrayed him in behind. They joined the Turks, and they led Radu into Wallachia, and he gained his control. And Vlad, at this point, fled to one of his castles. Now, there was a message sent to him from an arrow, and I think his wife read it, I'm assuming, because of what she does. And his wife stated that she would rather drown in a river than be in a world where the Turks rule. So she jumped off a rampart into a lake. So, you know, she kind of lived with what she was going to say. Of course, he wasn't really in grief because he had to leg it out of there because the Turks were coming to kill him. So he legged it out of there and he went to a house in Pest, which I don't know where that is. Don't know where it is, but he married a Hungarian princess before he did that in 1466. And with that wife, that new wife, he had two sons as well. And one day there was a thief that was running away from the guards, and he entered his house. And the captain of the guard followed him, and he didn't make Vlad aware that there was a thief there, and you know. And so Vlad killed the captain. He ambushed him and stabbed him to death. But afterwards he defended himself. I did no evil. The captain is responsible for his own death. Anyone will perish. Will perish thus who trespasses into the house of a great ruler. If this captain had come to me and introduced himself, I would have found the thief and either surrendered him or spared him from death. Yeah. And of course, like a few years, I think about a couple of years later, Radu was eventually disposed and replaced by Basarab. Don't know who the fuck that is. I think it's some kind of prince. And of course, Vlad allied himself with Stephen Bathory, I can't pronounce French, Russian. See, I don't know my countries. I think it's Bratovic, I think that's what it is. Bratovic, yeah. And King Matthias. And this was led to him being restored once again in 1476. And once again, this one didn't last very long like his first one, because he ended up getting besieged by the boyars and the Turks, and he was killed. Oh God, I got cold. And he was later killed by a volley of arrows, whether accidental or not, we don't know. But that's how he met his end, which is the idea, really. Plus, there was one point when he was in prison, he didn't really stop his impalements. He got like rats, and he got the jailers bringing birds, and he'd pluck them, and then they'd run around, and he'd catch them and stick them on little wooden sticks, and, you know. So he had a really big impalement fetishism. So it was like he loved stabbing people in the arse, you know, that kind of thing. So he wasn't a very nice man, but you know, considering the fact that it did make sure the crime did literally decrease, it kind of works, doesn't it, really? It just means that capital punishment works. I mean, if you don't want crime, because right now crime is completely rampant, it's because these fucking chavs are all running around going, they're not getting the proper education. There's no discipline in the schools anymore. There's no discipline in the system at all. It's just let everyone do what they want. We're not going to become communist. Yes, it happened in the 60s where they beat the crap out of criminals. They weren't commies, were they? We were fighting the commies. So there you go, Vlad Dracula, the real Dracula. That's why Dracula got his name, because Bram Stoker read the thing on him. Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Dracul, Vlad Zepish as he's known in his language. So thank you for watching. Vlad Dracula. Here